Space Engineers is back. I don't know how the song continues. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another stream of Space Engineers. Today, well, for the first part, I'm gonna finish off the lounge that we have created. The beautiful lounge slash observation deck. Which we're gonna mirror on the other side of the station, like over there. Basically gonna mirror all of this. There's just a few more things I have to do. Toilet doors, then I think the roof, and then the lighting, and that's it! But then, of course, the question is, what do we do next? There's a lot more rooms that we need to build to fill up the main deck, so to speak. So let's count. Let's assume we put a room in every, like in the same regularity that we did over here, which means one room over here, so one, then two, and then I think here will not be a room. Here will basically be a hallway that leads to the downward part of the ship, right? So that's only 1, 2, and then 3, 4, the launch, 5, 6, 7. So if we forget about the lounge here, that means we have to come up with 6 more different rooms that could fit on the main deck. And I don't want to have quarters like, you know, like living quarters, captain's quarters. I don't want them to be on this level on the ship. I want them to be on the top level or on the bottom. We'll see. But anyways, not here. So I have to figure out what we're gonna do, obviously. Right. Oh, it seems that I have no steel plates in my inventory. Alright, let's get some. Let's get some. Oh yeah, right, and I think we ran out of iron as well. Right, I forgot about that. We still have a lot of steel plates, but we have run out of any iron, apparently. Let's actually see if that is true. Iron ore. Yeah, no iron ore anymore. Aha, that rhymed. Which means we have to take our little ship over here and go on another mining journey very soon to get another inventory full of iron or something that will keep us afloat for at least a few more episodes, I would imagine. So yeah, that is the main goal at this point. We'll see how well this is gonna work, but yeah. Okay, the air vent is here, which means we can close off this whole roof section. We don't have to have any holes in here. Because one vent is enough for the whole room, since there's no, like, separated doors or anything. Well, technically the toilets, but I cannot fit anything in there anyway. It's a 1-by-1 room, so yeah. And yeah, that's how it looks from the outside. That's pretty cool, I think. And once we have the room sealed, like airtight, I can test out if these blocks, if we replace them with the small ones, if it's still airtight in that way, because these would look a bit more elegant, you know? But we have to check if it actually works from the airtightness, or however you want to call it. Alright. So now we need to get a bunch of different components for the doors. Let's just get interior plates, computers, and construction components. Yeah, let's get that for now. We'll have to fly back and forth anyway for a few times. Let's see. Construction components we need. Right. Computers. What else did I say? I think motors. We also will need displays for the doors. Let's see. There's a few more things we'll need, but that's a good start. Yeah. Also, I need to make the window here as well. Just like... Oh, we didn't even do it here. I forgot about this. Okay, so we have to put in the windows here. The inner ring, so to speak. Alright. Very good. Okay, just a few more construction components, interior plates, and small tubes, and then we're done with the doors. And then we'll put lighting up on the roof, on the ceiling rather, and then we should be finished with that part. most of the, at least partially. I have to rename all the blocks so it's you know, organized and everything. So yeah, yeah, that should be enough. Let's go. Yeah, here we go. There we go. And this one. Oh yeah, LCD screens. You have to put up some of those up as well. I forgot about those. LCD screens. There we go. Do we want to mark the toilets? Is that necessary? Well, actually, I think it's kind of a good idea to mark those, right? There we go. Toilets, toilets. And then we need one of them outside as well. There we go. I obviously will not have the right components for those. Yeah, obviously. That was clear. Oh well, we can at least put lighting in the room. Let's do that. Let's grab ourselves the lights. There we go. So how do we want to space this? I mean, I guess we could place like above the tables here. Like so. Then, oh yeah, I think that's good. There's one block in between each of the lights. I think that's a very good spacing. And then here probably we'll just do this, right? We cannot place them here because of the LCD screens. They already take up that block space, so to speak. Oh, we forgot to. Yeah. Oh well. All right. There we go. Let's put up all the lights.
Energy
We have
low.
enough components with us, that is. Also, we need to recharge energy in a minute here. There we go. And obviously, we have to configure these a little bit, because right now they're a bit weak. Yeah, but I think if we make these two at the entrance, if we make them big enough, they will be strong enough to illuminate the toilet area, I would say. It's a cozy little toilet, isn't it? Good. Very good indeed.
Energy low.
Okay, let's get a bunch of components that we need. If I can remember which ones we need, that is. I believe it was... I think some motors we needed, some displays, and computers. I think. Hopefully. Not sure. Might be missing something here. Might have something might have slipped my mind. That is possible. Right. That should be enough. Good. Let's see if we can finish the vent, and then I want to check if it's airtight right now. Okay, right now it is. So the green dot says that it is airtight. Now what happens? Well, obviously, if I remove that, it's not airtight anymore. Duh. But what happens if we do this? Airtight. Ooh, it actually is. Interesting. So that leaves us with two choices. Either we do it this way, making this gradual descent or this gradual slope, or we could also do this, like the more steep slope like that. Still airtight, is it? Apparently so. Or, you know what? I think I have even a better idea. Something a bit fancy, I might even say. Let's do these alternating, you know, for an interesting pattern. Because I just realized if I do the 2-block slope, then we had to delete these lights. But if we alternate them between the 2-block slope and the steep 1-block slope, then we can keep the lights. We still get the best of both worlds. So I think that's the way to do it, right? This is gonna be a steep one. This is gonna be. And, Oh, inventory full. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. Like so. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Inventory full.
Oh gee. Inventory problems. Wait. Let me just dump something in space here. I think I can do that. There we go. Yeah, this blizzard's just gonna float there. That's alright. I think this looks fine. You know, with the pattern. I think that's cool, right? That works. It's gonna be a steep one, and then the tubular one here again. And it should still result in an airtight room, which is obviously the goal. It'd be kind of defeating the purpose if the lounge wouldn't have no airtightness, and then you had to wear like a spacesuit in the lounge. That would kind of be defeat the purpose of the lounge, I believe. Not the best idea. Right. Yeah, I think that works design-wise, don't you think? Yeah, that is okay. That is fine. Where did the displays go? Oh, there.
Inventory full.
Oh, gee. Okay. Apparently, we have too much stuff in our inventory. Let's try to dump a bit into here. Right. Let's see if we can pick them up.
Inventory full.
Oh, okay. Fine. You know what? We'll pick those up later. Maybe we'll forget about them, but I tend to pick them up later. Now, let's do the lights. Where are the lights? Interior lights, there we go. So, I think we first placed the 6 lights at the front. So, these 6. Yes. So, let's make them about this radius. Let me put a little bit of offset on them. Yeah, I think that's right. So these are going to be called lounge light. They're all going to be called that, but the ones at the front will be a bit different. Or no, you know what? We'll differentiate. This is lounge light entrance. There we go. That's the 2 over there. And then make them 9. Wait, do we make them 9.5 as well? Is that okay? Yeah, probably. Okay. Yeah, maybe we could have just grouped them all together. Oh well. Offset. Oh yeah, we'll make the offset a bit bigger there. 2.5. Right. Doesn't that look comfy? Yeah, I think with the light it's even better. I know it's a bit dark at the front where the windows are, but I think that's good. You know? So you can stand a little bit offside of the light and just enjoy the view of space. That makes sense, right? And then here in the main area, it's a bit more lit, which is good. And I think, yeah, that's well enough lit with these, with the lights outside. I think that works. Oh yeah, right, we can drop some components into here. I forgot about that. Maybe now?
Inventory full.
Oh, that's annoying. Okay, fine. Right, so let's call these, I believe it's these 2 that are... Oh, that's interesting. There's a moth, like, between the blinds of my window and the window. It's like going crazy over there. Alright. Text and images, that should be... Yeah, these 2, perfect. Perfect. So these are lounge. Oh, we might have to differentiate between the 2 lounges, right? Yeah, probably. So, oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that in a second here. This is gonna be lounge. I think this is left. Yeah, lounge left. Toilet. These 2. Oh. And then we edit the text. Toilet. There we go. Oh, that was the other one. The one behind me. I have to put it in here as well. Nice. Now font size. About that. Center alignment. And then a bit less padding. Perfect. I think I misspelled that. I might have misspelled that. Doesn't matter. And this is gonna be... Where is it? The LCD. LCD... Oh god, I already have so many blocks in here, it's hard to find these things. Ah, there it is. This is lounge, entrance, lounge left, obviously. Let's keep it. Let's keep the naming correct here. Text, lounge. Well, we will not call it lounge left. It's gonna be a lounge, just for you know, for organization purposes. I think we should call it left and right. Otherwise, it's gonna be a bit confusing to me later on. I made so many ships in creative where I just absolutely lost any semblance of control because I had so many like lights and so many doors that you can never like backtrack and figure out what is what. It is just too annoying. If you have like 500 interior lights and now you have to figure out which one is the one like on the top of the like left wing or something. It's so insane. You have to, you know, keep it organized from the beginning, then it works. Yeah, speaking of organized, where is that light then? There is a single solitary interior light, which I don't know where it is. But there's actually, since it's only this one, it's an easy way to figure it out. We'll just make it pink, and we'll figure out where it is. Also, the lab equipment will take this out of the list over here, so we're also gonna clean up the list a little bit. This is also lounge left vent. Right. And then we have to... Oh yeah, there we go. A lot of blocks that don't need to be in this list. Like the couches and the desks and stuff like that. It's just, you know, it's kind of nice that they show up so you can configure some of these things, but my god, they clutter that list. It's annoying sometimes. Dispensers and... Yeah, oh god, the doors. Yeah, see, I've been a bit lackluster with my policy here, so there's a bunch of doors that have not been named yet. Now this one is easy, obviously. This is the lounge door. Lounge... Well, main door, I believe. And then these two must be the toilet doors. Yeah, I can hear them to the left and to the right, that's good. So lounge left... Toilet door. There we go. And these must be all in the armory then? Does that make sense? I'm not even sure. But yeah, let's rename all of these. Lounge left light. See, that's what I mean. I just didn't pay attention for like one episode and my god, it's already a chaos. Not good, I tell you. Not good. Right. Now these, they're not necessary to be in the list either, because they're purely decorational. So we'll turn these off as well. What else do we... Yeah, the toilets are not necessary. We'll get these out of the list too. Programmable blocks, they're just decorational as well, so they can go as well. And I think now at least we got a little bit of... Oh wait, that's this light? That makes no... Hold on, how many lights do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Hold on, that makes no sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it does totally make sense. I cannot count, apparently. That's the problem here. So, I think if we do this, this should completely take over the values of the other lights. For this one. There we go. Ah, good. Okay, so that mystery is solved. Now, the other doors, that's a bit concerning, so... to be honest. Let's figure this out real quick. That might be this one. Nope. Okay, that's the armory door. Or main door. Jesus Christ. Let's see. I couldn't even hear where this one is. I have no idea where this one is. Cannot hear that one either. That is the lab door. Yeah. Or science lab door, I think we call them. Science lab. Welcome to Naming Simulator. Indeed. Now, I would just assume that some of the doors in here are also not named properly. Yes. Servidor. And this one? Of course, I forgot about these. There we go. So that means that there's now 2 that are left. They must be in the armory then. For the most part. There's 1, I believe. Well, there's only 1 in here. I think that leaves us with 1 left over. That's not good. 1 missing door. Wanted, dead or alive. Oh, office. Door. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that leaves us with 1 door. Yep. Let's just open that door and see where we'll find an open door. I have no idea where this is. Oh. Let's see. It's not this one, is it? No. That's the bridge door. We named that one properly. In here there's no more other doors, so it's not in here either. Where the heck is that door? It's not this one. It's one of the toilet doors, but hold on. Did I just miscount again? That's the other toilet door. And then... what? Hold on. Oh, I see what... yeah, okay. I see what I did there. I see what I did there. Right. That is actually the main door. Yeah. Ah, clumsy me. There we go. Now everything is in order again. I can die happy now. Good. Okay, on to the next section. Which means another room. Now let me think. What kind of rooms would you find on a spaceship? You know, other than living quarters and stuff like that. No like personnel-based stuff. More like utility rooms. What would you find? A med bay. Yes, I think that's a good idea. A med bay. Also on the same side as the armory. I think that's a good idea, right? Yes, yeah. Let's do a med bay. That's a good idea. Okay, so first, let's actually do the hallway structure. So we get that one correct, because that is important. It needs to be perfectly symmetrical, otherwise I cannot sleep at night. Which means we have over here, we'll start with these blocks, like so, for the perfect angled hallway. Easy peasy. And I think these are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks worth, yeah. And then it goes, oh, yeah, okay, perfect. You know what, we might actually just do this all around the hallway, because that's such an easy thing to do, we might just do it everywhere. Just so we have it done. There we go.
Energy low.
Oh, again? Come on. Maybe I should produce some energy packs at my base, so it can roam around for longer. That's what they're made for. So why not do it? Well, they take up inventory space, which is not very advantageous during building, so maybe that's the point, huh? Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. I have the feeling once this part of the ship is done, like the main deck, everything else will be a bit quicker. Because everything else is basically smaller, size-wise. This is probably the largest deck. And also, this is the most like diverse deck when it comes to rooms. So here I have to think about the most what I put in. The other ones are pretty clear-cut for the most part, I think. You know, stuff like mining or industrial rooms, like machine rooms of gyros and you know, these kind of things. They will go into the grip part of the ship, so to speak. And there will also obviously be conveyors. I could, for example, imagine that the industrial
Energy
room
critical.
where we mine ores, or rather refine ores, could be here, and then there's a conveyor going to what is the trigger of the ship, you know, goes here, and then basically here is going to be like the docking part where your mining ship can dock and empty its cargo into the refinery. I could imagine something along those lines, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, these main utility rooms are the most troublesome part to think of. Because, you know, if you normally just build ships and space engineers, it's not something you think about. You just make it practical. Most of the, at least I do. If I build just a ship for me, just, you know, for the purpose, I don't have any other room on there than basically the bridge with the seat where I pilot the ship. That's it. So it is kind of hard to really think what would people need on a ship like this to survive. You know, what would you need to put in to actually make this like a comfortable experience? You know, because oftentimes things like that get forgotten. You know, things like toilets. You know, how do they get their food? How do they get water and stuff like that? It's not just in Space Engineers. I also see it because I have like a Dungeons and Dragons group that I DM, and I also see it there when I have to like design a dungeon, for example. You know, you know, like the stereotypical trap dungeon. You know, where it's an old, I don't know, dwarf ruin, and there's tons of traps in there, and the first thing that now, if I do that, comes to mind is, wait, the traps, why are they there? Wouldn't they kind of hinder the people that lived there, or still do live there? Wouldn't they kind of hinder their daily routine? You know, stuff like that. And then suddenly, oh yeah, you have that ruin in the middle of the mountain that's like hidden away from like sight. But wait, how do they survive down there? You know, what do they eat? From where is the water is the least of problems. You can always come up with some, oh yeah, there's like a stream through the mountain that they can tap in or something. But food is a bigger problem in these cases, you know? Like a deep underground fortress, what do they eat? Let's see. What could they eat? Like, could they plant crops? No, there's no light underground, or just barely enough to do that. So, probably not. How about animals? Also kind of hard, because they eat a lot of, that's right, plants. So that falls out of the window. You know, it is really hard to design like a convenient hidden thing that actually works from a, you know, a logical perspective. And yeah, it's easy to just say, oh yeah, it's a weird dungeon, you wouldn't understand, you don't have to understand. It's just, you know, it's just a dungeon for your enjoyment. But I kind of, at least I try to, if I come up with a story, if I come up with a scenario, I try to make it like internally consistent, you know, that it's logical with itself. And I do not always succeed with that, obviously. There's, every once in a while I'll find like a flaw in my plan. Like in the middle of the game session, suddenly I'm like, oh wait, that makes no sense. And then you have to kind of magic your way out of there, but you know, it's actually kind of the fun of being a dungeon master, a DM, you know? Basically to pull everything off as if it was planned, even if it was just an absolute coincidence. That's like the #1 rule. You have to make sure that the people you're playing with believe that what you're doing is exactly what is supposed to happen. You know? And in like 90% of the time, it is absolutely not. And if you ever had like a Dungeons and Dragons group or something, you know that it's true, right? You know that no plan that you come up with, no scenario that you plan out will ever in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, there was, I think, nowhere a scenario that played out exactly as the DM imagined it would. Because it doesn't matter if you plan out like 17 scenarios for what could happen. You know, oh, they meet, let's say, a boss enemy, and there's this way to beat them, there's that way to beat them, and then there's this hidden thing they could do. You plan like 10 scenarios, then you play, and I guarantee you, your players will find at least 2 more that you did not even think of. That's like, it's really, really cool. And sometimes it's just, you know, you haven't really looked at the character sheet in a while, and you have, you know, you didn't see something. It's actually a good example. I recently had them fight like a special boss battle where they fought like a big monster. It's kind of like a gargoyle kind of monster, like a big bad stone creature, right? So very hard to kill. You know, it is made out of stone, so it's quite well armored. It has lots of HP, but it is a bit mad, this thing. So every once in a while, it will like fixate on a player and then charge him. And basically, you know, it's a very, very dry, like a very basic boss battle. If it charges you, dodge out of the way, let it run into a wall, that hurts it. Simple, I thought. Now, I have to be fair, I kind of forgot to look at my the mage in my group. I kind of forgot to look at his character sheet, which is a big mistake, believe me. He had an interesting spell that turns people into stone for a certain amount of time. It's just temporary. And normally you kind of use it to, you know, take an opponent out of combat for a while. Like a troublesome opponent, you can turn him to stone for a few rounds, and then you finish off the other guys, and when he comes out of the stone, you kill him as well. Or you basically make him surrender, whatever. But our crafty little mage saw that the beast is charging one of his friends, and he was like, hold on, my spell turns people to stone, and it says in the spell the people are invulnerable. The stone cannot be destroyed. It's like magic. Magic freaking stone. So he said, alright, I turn my friend into stone, and then we'll see what happens. And yeah, very creative. It's basically, he magicked up an additional wall right in the face of the beast. It was really creative. I didn't think of that. It was a great battle they fought there. But yeah, it's general with Dungeons and Dragons like that. People always come up with so creative solutions. I love it. It's kind of why I really like the Dungeon Master, because you set up these scenarios and then you just toss it at the players and see what they do. It's really fun. It's the most fun thing. I kind of like being a player as well, but as a Dungeon Master, you have this additional view. You know, where you can see what the solution was supposed to be and then what they did with it. Or sometimes if they miss very, very obvious and interesting stuff. I had like pages, like 7, 6, 8, 4 pages written, you know, like a certain quest that they could do. And I don't force my group onto railroad tracks and say, oh, you have to now do this and do that. I don't do that. I let them have free reign. But that, of course, means that sometimes I will throw out, like, the hooks, you know, like, oh, there's an interesting person, there's something that happens, and they can and cannot, can or may not engage with that, you know? And every once in a while, I'll throw out a thing like that, and they completely ignore it, and it's like, oh, God, yeah, that's about 10 pages gone. To be fair, I can then reuse those pages later, you know, in basically make a few changes, use it in another city they go to, It's not that bad, but still, sometimes it's hilarious. There's like an elaborate scenario, like an elaborate scheme set up, and they're like, nope, not interested, I'm going. Oh well. But I believe it's funnier that way. For me and for them. You know, it's just more insane the way they do things. Oh well. I've been very talkative today, apparently. So, we at least almost set up the our little hallway section over here. There we go. I believe that is correct from the way this is built. Yeah, that looks correct to me. Okay. So let's just put these few more steel plates that we have in our inventory. Let's put them in here. Let's get some more. Ouch, that hurt. Let's get some more. And then we'll lay out the floor plan for the med bay. There we go. Technically, I could say I make a room with every one of the new decoration blocks. I mean, so far we're pretty good on that. We had the science lab with the new science block, the science block, what is it called? Medical? No, not the medical table. I think it's the lab. That one. I don't think there's anything new in the armory though. Might just be normal blocks in here. Well, unless you count like these. They're semi-new. Let's put it that way. Then on the bridge, we have the cool new fence thingies, which I really like, and the transparent LCDs. So yeah, so far we pretty much used the new block in every room. That's pretty good. But, well, to be fair, now we're running out of blocks then, if we do it that way. Okay, so how big do we want the med bay to be? Let's look at the actual blocks. It's gonna be these ones, the medical stations. So we're gonna have some of those, obviously. And they're probably gonna be on the wall as well. That makes the most sense to me. So, let's say if we put one block in between, that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. At least. Probably 5. Right? And then, let me just... Yeah, let's just put down some floor right here. So we can visualize how this is gonna look. Because I have kind of an idea how it's supposedly should look. So we have this room here. This is going to be 3 blocks wide. That should be enough, I think, for what we want to do. Well, at least at the back it's going to be. Then I think at the front we're going to have a little bit more space. Like so. Probably. And then, also I think I will place some wall bits as well. So something along those lines. And then, let's put these over here. I think we'll have like an additional room right here, or at least an additional part of the room. Might even make it a little bit bigger. You know, like a separated room. Where we have the big ones, the medical, what are they called? Medical rooms, these ones, the big ones, like that. Have at least one of those in here, and then maybe some stuff at the back. Maybe some office type things over there. I think that is not bad. And then the wall will be like so, which means the room next to it is gonna be a little bit, well, displaced. You know, they have to deal with this not quite aligned wall, but I think that's better in this way. So we have like the research room, then there's probably gonna be a little waiting area, you know, like in every doctor's office, obviously. And then there's gonna be like a little separated office. Yeah, that's pretty okay, right? That works. Right, and let's weld. Like 90% of what I'm doing. Welding. And yeah, I know I could use a welder ship, but for these like very intricate structures, it's kind of difficult to use one. often easier to just use your elite welder, especially if your supply of steel plates is that close. But yeah, we're using up our steel plates quite quickly, so we need to. I think on the Friday episode, I'm probably gonna go and get some iron then. Probably the best idea, otherwise we might run out. That would be kind of terrible. And also it will take ages for the new iron that we're gonna get to refine, so better to get it sooner than later. Let's put it that way.
Energy low.
Again! Alright. There we go. Let's get some more. But yes, medical bay. But I already need to think about the other rooms. What other rooms could we put in? I do not really want to have duplicated rooms, except the lounge, because it makes sense, you know, with the window position. But what else could we put in? I don't really want to have, like, industrial rooms up here. That doesn't really fit, in my opinion. I mean, we could, technically, we could have, like, a... I don't know how to call it. A stock exchange, maybe? You know, where there's like trading terminals or stuff like that? Where people can buy things? That might be a room, right? On a ship? Does that make sense to have like an internal, like, economy on a ship with money? You know, where there's people who sell stuff and people who buy stuff? Or does it make more sense that if you're on a ship, you basically give to each other things for free. Everything. I kind of wonder what makes more sense. I mean, if it's a big enough ship, it would make sense to have its own economy. I wonder where it's like the, you know, the critical point. Where a ship becomes so big that it basically creates its own society on ship. I wonder how much people you would have to cram into one of these things to make that happen. But yeah, I think that could be a room, some sort of like, or a trading terminal or something. I don't know what to call it. So that would be a room. I mean, we could put in showers or something. Although I would rather prefer these to be on the crew level, you know, the one above where the quarters are gonna be. So I rather would prefer them there. Not sure. I wonder, maybe does a workshop or something like that make sense? You know, with... I don't even know what I would put in there. You know, normally I would say crafting benches and things like that, but you don't have these in Space Engineers, obviously. So I wonder how one would pull a workshop off. If that even makes sense. I mean, offices could be a possibility. Just plain old offices. You know, like data entry and stuff like that. Let's say your spaceship analyzes like the stars and everything surrounding. There's gonna be a massive amount of data, so you would need some offices where people put things in the right, you know, just typing things into forms basically, all day long, stuff like that. Yeah, offices could work, right? That could probably work as a room. What else? Maybe I'll do some research what kind of rooms people put on their ships. I mean, there's always some very creative people that find these very, very clever rooms and how to design them. Because right now I'm like running very, very much out of ideas. What rooms we could still put in there. And again, I don't want to have like functional like engineering rooms in here. They all should be down in the grip part. At least when it comes to my taste. I kind of want to separate, you know, the more industrious working areas from the general utility areas. Then there's going to be the living area, so there's not going to be anything public, or no, not anything utility up there except showers basically, and a cantina. Or does a cantina make more sense on the main deck? I don't think so. I think I would put the cantina on the crew deck. You know? Because you wake up in the cantina, or no, not in the cantina, unless you have drunk too much. But yeah, you wake up, you go out outside of your room, you eat something, and then you go down onto the main deck where you work. I think that's a good way to put it. The main deck is where people work. Except industrious stuff. Okay, maybe not the best definition then. But something along those lines. Right. Ow. That hurt. Let's see. Can we place them? No, we need interior plates. Obviously we do. Need interior plates. So let's get them. Here we go. Yeah, let's get all of them. So one of these is gonna be over yonder. Which way around? This makes the most sense. So we have the thermal here and the clothing changing thing over there. That's fine. Then we're gonna have this. It's gonna be the waiting room with comfy couches, obviously. Or do we even want... No. Straight benches. That's better. And then we'll also, just because that most doctor's offices have those as well, plants, right? Maybe to kind of calm yourself down. I don't know. Green is a good calm down color, isn't it? Or is that blue? Might think of the wrong color. Then we have all these scanner stations. And then we might just have some LCD screens like next to them. Although, hold on, I'm just thinking if that makes sense. Above them could work as well. Oh yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna do that. We're just gonna basically label the scanners. You know what I mean? So we're gonna put like one of these above every one of those. It's gonna be like scanner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in this room we're basically gonna have a terminal where you can, in theory, you know, like in an RPG kind of way, you're thinking you will access the scanners that you need information from. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that works. What I'm thinking right now is if we want to have some sort of like walls between the scanners. Let's see if we get some catwalks and put them like so. Although, yeah, you cannot place two of them. That's kind of a problem. Yeah, you know what? We're probably not gonna have anything in between. Yeah, probably not. Okay. We might still have some more benches like here. Something like that. And then some more plants as well. So it looks like a proper doctor's office, right? Corner bench here. There we go. Yeah, I think from a decoration standpoint that works. Now in here, we're gonna have... Let's see, how do we want to do this? Do we want to have desks in here, or do we want to have control stations? Both of them work relatively well, I would say. I mean, there's two ways we can do this. Either we like put one of these down, like so, or two. Or what I could imagine is something like having a desk here. Maybe even a table where somebody else could sit in theory. But yeah, something like a desk. And then having an LCD panel like either next to him or on the wall. Something, you know, one of these positions where there's going to be the information that come from the scanner, so to speak. I think that makes even more sense. Now I wonder if I want to put like a bench in front of the desk, you know, like a private consultation with the doctor. You'll sit here and then he'll put up the information on the LCD screen and he'll say, "Oh, Mr. Johnson, your charts are terrible. You need to drink less Clan Coke. That is absolutely terrible." Yeah, something like that could work. We might even put a huge LCD screen in here, like the double ones. The wide ones. Yeah, these. The really big ones. Yeah, I think that could work. I actually think that could work. And then where would... There would be at least one vent here. And then one that is going to be flowing into here. Into the medical room. Right? Yeah, I think that works quite well. Alright, let's go. Let's put down more walls. Or higher walls, let's put it that way. Let's put all of those down. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm convinced of my idea. Now I'm convinced that this is gonna look good. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Let's get rid of all of these. There we go. Obviously I'll have to put the doors in as well, but we can do this afterwards. That's okay. Right. Go. Yes. This is gonna be good. Medical room is gonna work. And this is also where you're basically gonna respawn if you die around the ship, I assume. Probably will respawn in here. Makes the most sense. You know, sometimes I wish there would be more like crazy scripts in Space Engineers. Something like if you die, then it would be so cool to have on that LCD screen like the reason of your death. That would be very creative. You know, if I don't know if there's a script out there like that. Probably not. I would assume it's kind of impossible to do. I don't even think Space Engineers records how you died. I know it, like in things like Minecraft, it says like, oh, if you fell from a high place, you got burned by fire, you jumped into lava. I don't think it does that here. It doesn't say killed by a space spider or something like that. I don't think it does. So I don't think there's any way to access information like that. It could be interesting, maybe, if you could at least access if a player dies. That would be enough. Because then you could have like a script that says if a player dies, display some random funny information on the screen. You know, you'll have like a selection of like 10 different hilarious death notes. And then just display one random one every time a player respawns. That would be kind of funny. I don't even know, is that possible? I've never like scripted scenarios and stuff like that. I don't know, is that possible? That would be really cool. That would be possible. Could you imagine? It always reminds me of these old RPGs I used to play, where the funniest thing would be the graveyard, because every gravestone would be some stupid in-joke or some play on words. It was absolutely hilarious, these things. I love them. Well, generally I do miss sometimes the olden days. Certain games. You know, today's games are not bad, by no means. But sometimes there's things that absolutely get lost, you know. Now recently for example, with Kenshi, I got a little bit of that vibe back from older games, you know. Things like, oh, what race and what gender and whatever you choose as your character makes like a really big difference in the world. Today that's not a big thing anymore in most RPGs. You know, oh yeah, sometimes the dialogue option changes, but it's not like in Kenshi where, oh, you chose to be a woman. This nation basically thinks you are worthless. Or you chose to be I don't know, a hiver. Every other hiver on this map thinks that you are a coward and you're exiled and hunts you down, you know? Stuff like that. I find that absolutely great. Because it gives your character a little bit more edge. It gives you a little bit more drive to do certain things. You know, I can remember back into, I think it was Neverwinter Nights, where if you would create a character with intelligence less than, I think it was 8 or 7, if you would do that, your character basically would not have the ability to speak properly. which would completely change the game. It really does. The answers that you give are hilarious. You know, there's like this epic quest giver. He explains what you need to do for like 5 minutes, and then in the end, he's like, "Are you up for the challenge?" And you're like, "I like potatoes." And what? it makes the whole game so much different. It's so good. But yeah, you know, not every game can be like that. I obviously understand. And again, there's a lot of games that came out recently that I really love. I would never say that something like, "Oh, gaming is dead. Everything was better back in the day." I hope I never say a sentence like that. You know, "Oh, everything was better back in the day." The moment I catch myself saying something like that, I officially have to say I am old. I think that is like the official thing. Well, that, and if you actually like to go to bed, then you have grown older. You've become an adult. Oh well. I think we need some of these tubes as well. Also some bulletproof glass. Yeah, let's see how far we get with this. Also, I think after I put down the most of these things, I probably will quit for today. It's been a good session. We've prepared the medical room very nicely. I think either I'm gonna finish it on Friday, or maybe I'm gonna mine ore on Friday. One of these things. I mean, both of them are desperately needed. Well, the ore is a bit more than the other thing, but still. Ooh, we need medical components, huh? 5 pieces of medical components are needed, at least. Aren't they, like, super heavy? Might be a bit annoying. Oh, we also only have 2 of them. That's another problem. Do medical components need iron, is the question. Where are they, even? Am I blind? Oh, no, there they are. Yeah, they do need iron. So we cannot make more medical components anyway. That's unfortunate. Yeah, what can we do? At least one of them we can complete. If we had motors, that is. Go, construction components placed. Beautiful, at least all of that is finished. Good. Oh yeah, and we need obviously more metal components. Metal components. Medical components. We need, 15 more. Yeah, okay. Before we finish this room, we need to mine iron anyway, so we might as well do it on Friday. Right. Let's grab some motors then, if that is the only other thing that we need. And put 15 more medical components into construction. So that's the most amount we need.
Low.
Very good. Let's finish at least 2 of these. Yeah, they look cool. Oh, you know what? We might not even need to put LCDs on top. They have their own screens, of course. So we can just put it... like scanner 1, we can just put it in here, right? Let's try this. I think that's large display, I believe. Yeah, that will work. Let's try this real quick. Scanner 2. Oh yeah, that totally works. Need to be a bit generous with the padding there, but yeah, that totally works. Might make the background and the text color a bit different to make it look a bit more medically. Medically? Is that a word? Yes, of course it is. If I say it's a word, then it definitely is one. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, you know what? That's gonna be it for today. Hey, I mean, we completed now a quarter of the top deck, basically, right? So I think next week, the stream next week, we might be able to complete half. Then in 2 weeks' time, we might have completed everything. I mean, the second lounge is probably going to be a little bit quicker. Oh, the displays. I spotted them. Yes, good. Let's go get the displays. before we forget them and then fly off into the distance, and these things will cause a terrible ruckus inside of the ship. Now, to be fair, I wanted to install gravity generators anyway, so they would have fallen to the floor by then. But yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you watched it here or in YouTube, either way, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.